I recently had a huge prophetic download about Kanye West, and it was a really scary dream. And for those who are not followed and you're new, welcome. I did do a video all about that, and it was really intense. I was talking about a lot of things that I saw coming up for Kanye in his future. And I did say in that video that if he does not be careful, he really could be heading towards the end very soon, because a lot of his closest friends and allies and people around him that are supposed to be helping him are not, and it seems like his mental health is really kind of down the drain. And so within, I think, not even 72 hours, 48 to 72, 74 hours, here we go again. We have, a couple more stories about what is going on with Kanye. And yeah, 72 hours. So we have this thing where Kim has had to hire extra security for their kids. Keep in mind that this is also Kanye's kids as well as Kim's kids. And so I'm going to cover that. And I'm also going to cover the whole anti-Semitic situation with Instagram and Twitter and Chase Bank, which is JP Morgan Chase, the official name, and how they've told him to basically kick rocks and get lost. So I'm going to start off with the Kim Kardashian. So for you all that did not see my video about the dream that I had in regards to Kanye not being on this physical plane, it was a very, very intense dream. I will link that if you're interested in hearing about that and what the dream was showing me about Kanye's future. So this whole situation with Kim and Kanye. So what I will say is for Kanye, Ye, his new official name is Ye, I'm kind of shocked that he even thinks that Kim Kardashian is even going to look in his direction. This is adding, damage on top of damage, okay? First, it was, Black Lives Matter's a scam. That's debatable. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are on their own spectrum with that whole situation. And then it was, slavery is a choice. Slavery is a choice, which was very offensive. And then it boiled into Kanye revealing something so deeply personal about Kim Kardashian almost aborting Northwest, their first daughter, their firstborn child that they had together. And a lot of reports said that was kind of what, broke the camel's back, was Kim just could not believe that when he was trying to run for president, which is also crazy, that he would, give the public that kind of information. So I really couldn't blame Kim for being offended, being heartbroken, being sad, because, anything to do with physical health and a baby and a newborn and a fetus, that's very private, that's very touchy. And I know that the Kardashians have their show, but even, something as touchy as giving up your newborn in your stomach, I think, is, or a developing baby in your stomach, whatever stage it was, I don't want to go into that, is very touchy. I think that's super touchy to talk about to the public. So that's what they claim. They claim that Kim was angry about Kanye talking about their personal business to do with Northwest, right? So here we have it. Kanye has expressed a lot that he wants the kids to go to his school, DONDA Academy. But what I cannot understand is I found out today that it's not even accredited, okay? DONDA Academy, or DONDA in general, is not an accredited school. So these kids, these parents are paying out the wazoo for an academy for their kids. Now, the concept is cute, but the actual execution and purpose behind DONDA to me makes no sense. Okay, if this was a creative academy for kids, you know, whether K through, you know, K through high school or K through middle school or K through, um, you know, elementary, whatever, like, okay, and it was accredited, I would, you know, I would see why parents are rushing to go to this university if they feel, or not university, it could be a university in the future, rushing to go to this academy for their kids, right? If they feel like Kanye has some kind of higher wisdom or knowledge in terms of creativity that maybe they see in their kids and they want to, you know, expand in their kids. Now, it's obvious that Kim Kardashian does not want to go and follow the script, okay? You know, it's very touchy because it's like Kanye claims to be this born again Christian. You know, he's arrived on the scene as I predicted. I told you all in my 2017 prediction video that I also link in the box below that he was going to go on this whole gospel tour and he was going to go back to Chicago, his roots. And I saw that the front porch steps and I saw the house and I had no idea that he was even born in Atlanta. I didn't know nothing about Kanye really to that degree. And I predicted that in 2017 and it's been spot on with his Donda listening parties and him trying to, you know, bring his mother's death into everything he's doing. I mean, he's a troubled man, you know, he needs therapy for real. And it's sad that it just feels like Kanye has not been able to move on and move forward with his life. And it's like I was watching a video of like a kids choir at this so-called Donda Academy, and to me, you all, it almost looked like a cult. I mean, I hate to say that, but I was kind of taken aback because I'm like, they're singing Good Morning Donda. The clip was the kids singing Good Morning Donda. Okay, so that was strange to me. And then when I found out that it's not even accredited, I could not understand that because what parent with common sense is sending their kid to a university or an academy or a school that they can't even, it's not even recognized. When their kid goes to middle school or high school or college, Donda Academy as it stands is not even recognized as accredited. So that was mind blowing. So maybe that's why Kim, I'm not speaking for Kim, but I'm just saying on that basis alone, maybe that's why Kim Kardashian is saying, no thanks, you know, I'm going to go with this, you know, private school that all the other rich kids are going to. And it works for, you know, Saint and Northie and Chicago and it works for her kids. But the sad reality is that Kanye is weaved and tangled up in all of this. You know, no matter how you spin it, Kanye is still the father of those kids. So when he's going on all these press runs saying, well, I want, you know, to put them in Donda, you know, I'm their father, I have a say. Well, I will agree with Kanye with that, you know, as a father, yes, you know, raising your young kids, yeah, you do have a say fundamentally. Of course you should have a say, but in addition to that, your say should make common sense, right? Your say should be beneficial to your kid's life, not detrimental. And so on that basis alone, that it's not even accredited, and there's no real skill that I've heard of that the kids are actually learning to take into the marketplace, to take into their careers when they get older, high school, middle school, college, then what's the benefit? You know, is it just some creative playground? Is it, I mean, maybe Kanye to switch it up to more of like an after school curriculum opposed to an actual full-on course academy, you know, like an after school thing where the kids go to Donda to draw, you know, up a design or something or make music. I mean, that makes more sense to me. I don't think the whole thing about them actually going to Donda as like a full school program makes a lot of sense at this point in time. So no offense to Kanye, I see where his vision is going, but at the same time, it feels to me like there's a lot of things that are off, and a lot of people are starting to speculate that this is some kind of cult. And if people are saying that this looks like a cult and all the kids are dressed in black and there's no, you know, they're chanting Donda, Donda. I mean, it's a bit weird. I gotta be honest. So at first I was like, okay, you know, Donda Academy sounds cool, blah, blah, blah. But then when you do some research, it's like, it's a little creepy actually. So that's a red flag. So according to TMZ, they're saying that and Boozy, he was attacking Boozy, he was attacking Diddy, Justin Bieber, the list goes on and on and on. High up executives from different fashion brands and labels. I mean, Kanye is clearly off his rocker. And this is exactly what I was saying in that other video I did that I was afraid of, is that he was gonna, he was gonna be restricted. I told you all that he was gonna be restricted from different platforms, but it would not stop him in the end because, like I said, he's a billionaire. He can make his own website. If he gets desperate enough, Kanye could easily make up his own website and say, subscribe here, kind of like how the fellow Gemini that Kanye is very fond of, Donald J. Trump, Donald Trump said, screw Twitter, I'm going to make Truth Social. I'm going to make another, I'm going to make even dating apps for conservatives who are, they call Trump conservatives. Candace Owens is still on her parade with Kanye. So he has support on the extreme right. He has support for people who see things just in that way, and that's fine because in America we all have the right to our opinion. But according to what they're saying here, Kim Kardashian is not having it. So he's been trying to enroll their 4 kids into DONDA Academy, TMZ is saying, for over a number of years, and Kim has declined and said no, they're not going to DONDA. And obviously, there was other posts I saw of Kanye talking about taking back the school and I can't say the word on YouTube, taking out a violent act to the school. He said that he was gonna go back and, do stuff, and just a lot of alarming comments about violence and control. And so Kim now has had to hire extra security for her kids that are also Kanye's kids. So basically she's hiring security to protect her kids from their father. So I think it's safe to say at this point, you all, that Kim Kardashian is going to go ahead and get a restraining order, right? If this becomes a full-blown ruckus of just a meltdown, a breakdown, maybe even him popping up at the school or popping up at her house, if he really goes off the deep end, you all, this really could be the end of any chance that Kanye, in his mind, he thinks he has with Kim, because he goes around telling all his little Christian friends and all these people that are, very conservative like him, in his mind, he tells them, we're going to get back together. People are going to see how God's going to put me and Kim back together. But how are you going to get your wife back and your family back acting like this? So to me, I just feel like he's got to, get back on medication, get into therapy, seriously, and not to be like funny, like he needs to go back to therapy if he even was in therapy, go on his medication and get it sorted out, because Kim Kardashian is not going to lay up with a psychotic man. And seeing what's happening now, it reveals to me, you all, a lot of the readings I've done on Kim and Kanye together, and I'll also will link that at the end, the eye icon in the description box below. I've done readings on this couple before. I've looked into their chemistry, I've looked into their astrology, I've looked into a lot with this couple, and I'm telling you that this just reveals it, even expands it even wider for me. It makes me feel like this is the reason why Kim could not stay, because he's irrational, he's erratic, and he's also a Gemini man, and I've never met or seen a Gemini man in my life that is going to keep the lid closed. I've never seen it. Gemini men are highly expressive people. They don't take no for an answer. They can be quite emotional. And Kanye is also a Cancer rising or Cancer moon, I believe. So when you add all of those placements in with about family and business dynamics, it can get really messy. And that's what we're all seeing right now. It's getting super, super messy. Okay. So I wonder how much Kim Kardashian had to pay for the security. I really do, because over the weekend, they showed her going to one of his games. Like, they were going to Saints soccer game and all that, and Kanye was there. So, this is gonna get into a situation, you all. I really think that she has no choice. You know, hiring the security for the kids' private school, I think is like step one, you know, but the worse it gets, I feel like we're gonna see a different side of this whole dynamic. And it may very well get to a point where, as we all know, momager Kris Jenner steps in and says, you know what? We've got to really get security up several notches. You know, we cannot trust that Kanye, you know, the fact that he bought the house across the street. Remember that whole story about, oh, he's not a stalker, but yet when she was a peach, he was still sending her roses and all that. So he was still trying to get back with her, or at least get her attention to some degree. So Kanye lives across the street. He bought another property directly across from their marital estate. But since the divorce, Kim Kardashian, if you didn't know, Kim Kardashian owns that whole estate. The one that Kanye tried to renovate 1,000 times, the pool, the patio, the tiling. Kim Kardashian 100% owns that mega mansion, that gorgeous house. And because Kanye got basically booted out, he bought the house across that's not even close to as beautiful as that house that Kim now has with her beautiful cars and all that. So I think it's safe to say, you all, I think we're going to see a restraining order. I think that if it has to get to the point where she got to get a restraining order, I would not be surprised. If there's talks about it, she may not actually do it because she doesn't want to, you know, make him look even worse. But I think that if there's a real legit threat, you know, a real legit threat that he's gonna harm them, she will take matters into her own hands. You know, Kim Kardashian claims to be a lawyer after her daddy, Robert Kardashian. I mean, I'm ready to see the tea. I'm ready to see the filing. You know, I'm ready to see this go down, because at this point, Kim also got her power too. Let's not get it twisted. Kanye has his power in terms of media presence and persona, but Kim overall, I think, has a better shot, you know, at people hearing her out over Kanye, because now Kanye's messed himself up because he's gone on this all-out attack on so many celebrities that at this point he's lost all his help. You know, if it would be, you know, like, for example, let's say Kim Kardashian files a restraining order, you know, and Kanye has all these friends in Hollywood vouch for his character. You know, Justin Bieber could say he, you know, plays with the kids on the floor and teaches them piano, you know, and then, you know, Diddy, if he was nice with Diddy could come out and say, you know, he's a great father, you know. But now that he's gone out on a full-blown attack on everybody and their wives, you know, he attacked Justin Bieber and his wife, Hailey Bieber, you know, you don't have Kanye. See, Kanye is not, people call him a genius, but how much of a genius is he? You know, if you really think about it, like the bare meat and bones here, like, he doesn't have anybody to vouch for his character. He's had multiple breakdowns, multiple scandals. He's admitted to having a porn addiction. He's admitted to alcoholism. Kanye has admitted to cheating. He's admitted to drug use. I mean, in the court of law, right? The paternity issues, child service, I mean, all these things. The judge, at this point now, the judge cannot look at Kanye as an available, mentally sound and healthy father. They can't look at Kanye and say, yes, you're right and Kim Kardashian is wrong. There's no way. There's no way. Even if Kanye, you see, is angry about the kids being on social media, the kids being exposed too young, the kids being used for money. Okay, that's all going to happen anyway. Whether it's with Kim or Kanye, they both have incredibly huge brands and businesses. So at that point, I feel like Kanye, I've always kind of felt like this, like, you know, Kanye saying that Kim is going to use the kids. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You know, every celebrity that's smart has their kids developed in something that has to do with their own family brand or concept of making money. That's kind of a no-brainer. And even with Kanye, I have seen over the years more and more that Kanye has put North in his fashion shows, in the choir, so at events. So he's not saying anything out of the ordinary about Kim's family as well as himself. You know, they're both they were and they are both going to use their kids to make money. So that argument is dismissed. So now I wanted to get into the whole JP Morgan situation. This was very fascinating. This is actually posted like a couple hours ago, and I was like, whoa. So I guess because of his anti-Semitic statements and just weird behavior to do with race and race relations. I mean, he said a lot of crazy things about a lot of crazy people. You know, he said a lot of things about people that I think are just honestly crazy. And so now we have a bank. You all heard it. An actual bank wants to cut ties with him. And he's worth billions of dollars. Insane. So what they're saying here is that they sent him a letter confirming that until late November, he has to find another place for the Yeezy Empire to bank. The title of the letter says, important ... closing of our banking relationship. So not only is Kanye lost friends, lost work associates, lost his wife, lost his mother, I wonder if Jay-Z is even close to him. I doubt it. I don't even think that Jay-Z could even get through to him. I mean, Jay-Z should have a good impact on him with Beyonce and his family. I mean, Jay-Z has been able to avoid divorce, which a lot of rappers have not been able to avoid. And I think it's pretty impressive that, you know, Jay-Z has been able to stay out of the public, keep a low profile with Beyonce, and keep their marriage intact, you know? So I would hope that somebody like Jay-Z with his billions and his branding could have went to Kanye, to Ye, and be like, hey, chill out. But because Kanye thinks he's so above advice, he thinks he's so above, you know, therapists and help and medical attention, he doesn't listen to anybody. But I think that somebody like Jay-Z would be a good friend for Kanye because they're very similar in terms of power and wealth. And they're both in the music industry. So who's better, you know, match than that, I think. But they also had a rocky relationship, you know. So it looks to me like Kanye has kind of pushed everybody away. And so that's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy at all, Kanye. So they say, Dear Ye, we're sending you this letter to confirm our recent discussion with JP Chase Bank has decided to end its relationship with Yeezy LLC. Oh, wow. And affiliated entities. Dang. To provide the company with sufficient time to transaction to another financial institution, we will continue to maintain the accounts, including all related product services, until November 21, 2022. Okay. Jump down of a letter. In summary, we ask that you act promptly, transfer your business to another financial institution before November. If you have any questions, please feel free to call your usual banking contact. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, JP Morgan. So that is insane. So I have a feeling that they really sent this to him because of his anti-Semitic remarks, his White Lives Matter remarks, his slavery was a choice remarks, his remarks about going to school and committing a violent act, as well as, you know, slut shaming and defaming other celebrities, as well as his own family, his mother-in-law, Kris Jenner. I mean, this is not good, you all. This is really not good. I don't know what other bank he's gonna want to go to. I find it just hard to think that, you know, Kanye is going to take this seriously. I have a funny feeling that he's going to try to threaten them even more because, you know, he really does see himself as a god, you know, and there's nothing wrong with, I think, seeing yourself in a higher light and, you know, all that. But there's got to be a limit to your ego, and you got to have at some point some kind of humility to keep, good contact and standing with people that are supposed to be helping him. So even his bank is saying, you can't bank with us. Like the mean girls at the lunch table. You can't sit with us. Like, you can't be a part of this clique over here. Take your Yeezy money elsewhere, honey. So that's what it's giving. Like, we don't want your business. We can't afford to have somebody like you banking with us. That's what it comes across to me. So, you know, I definitely have been warning Kanye. I think a lot of people that, love him or did love him, I'm sure have warned him that his behavior has consequences. But I have a sneaky feeling, you all, that it's not going to end anytime soon. And you know what? I think a lot of women at this point who have been in similar situations where they've had, a baby father, pop up places and threaten and all that. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say that, Kim needs to go ahead and get that restraining order. I'm not going to say if I'm for that or not, but I just think that when it comes to safety, and you're dealing with somebody who is not on medication and refuses to get help, no one's talking about a conservatorship. Some people are, but I'm not. Some say, oh, just put him in a conservatorship, just throw him away. No, because if he has his whereabouts about him, that's only for people who are way far gone. You know what I'm saying? And he's in charge of a lot of businesses, so that's not a good idea to me. But I will definitely say that if he keeps pushing it, they may have to. They may say, you know what, due to this continuous act and charade that he's putting on to the public, we have come to the conclusion that we've got to take control of his money. We got to take control of him because he can't help himself. Now, the only person to blame is Kanye. He can afford therapy. He can afford mental health supervision. He can afford medication. He does not have any other problems like most people in the working class do, where they maybe can't afford therapy. They can't afford to take weeks off at a time of work to woosah. That's not majority of people. So I just think that Kanye has all the resources. He has, such a powerful mother-in-law. Kris Jenner has such a powerful media, Jenner Communications. People don't even know that Kris Jenner herself has a communications media-esque company that she controls called Jenner Communications. And so, who's to say that if they were still married, if they had a good standing, that Kris could come in and say, let me help you, let me help you polish up your image. But because Kanye is so far gone, nobody wants to help him. And that's the worst place to be, is if you have all the money in the world, you have all the fame in the world, but nobody wants to be associated with you. That's a horrible, horrible look. And a lot of celebrities are like Kanye. And a lot of celebrities who are like Kanye are finding out that it's not worth it. It's not worth it to be, disrespectful and narcissistic and selfish. You have to think about your family. And so, Kanye talks a lot about family, but is his behavior helping or hurting his kids? And that's kind of like where I look at it, is like, at this point, he's not helping his kids. He's embarrassing his kids. He's embarrassing himself. And I think they just needs to kind of just take a step back. But, like I said to you on my last video, it looks to me like he's definitely heading for an early grave, for sure. I don't know if he's still drinking. I don't know if he still has his porn addiction, but, the behavior that I'm seeing would make me think that he is, and that's what's even worse. He's letting people assume that he's not well. His behavior, his anti-Semitic remarks, his disgusting remarks about people's, woman's body and all that, he's making people think that he is not sane. And you can't be around your children if you're not sane. So y'all, do not be surprised if Kim Kardashian files for a restraining order, okay? Like, really, don't be surprised if you just see a complete cold turkey of all the Kardashians, all the Jenners being like, we can't associate with him anymore. You know, if Kris Jenner says, you know what, I love my old son-in-law, you know, the father of my grandkids, but I can't help him anymore. You know, Kris Jenner has a lot of power, you know, and I'm thinking that Kris Jenner could be the one right now that could have saved him and said, you know what, let's go on a mental health, you know, PR tour. Let's tell people about bipolar and all that. But because he doesn't have anybody that he allows to guide him, he's going into a ditch every time. You know, where in reality, he should be going towards the light, towards awareness about mental health and all that. Instead, he wants to make a mockery of himself and act like he's a genius. He's a genius because he's mentally ill, you know? And also as an adult that has kids, you have to know your limits. You know, as a man, as a billionaire, I would think that Kanye would know his limits. And so for that, I'm disappointed in Kanye because I thought that, you know, he always spoke about, you know, when I touch the sky, when I get there, no one could tell me anything. I mean, he was always very, you know, motivational, you know, in his music and about himself. And I will always respect that about Kanye, you know, how he came from nothing and turned into something. You know, that is something to definitely applaud and be like, good for you. But then when you have that money, when you have that fame, why have you turned it upside down into an anti-black thing or anti-woman thing or, you know, anti-free thinker thing? Why have you turned this into something that is very cynical and very almost evil and weird? You know, why have you turned something motivational into let's go ahead and attack everybody who doesn't think like Kanye West? You know, and that's weird to me because other celebrities that have a lot of money, they don't act like that, you know? And I think that slowly but surely it's kind of like Kanye's turning into a person that shouldn't have power. You know, the other day I saw what he was saying about Jewish people or whatever, and I'm like, this is the exact kind of person who should not have power because he doesn't know when to stop. You see what I'm saying? So that is my commentary, you all, on the situation with Chase Bank cutting their ties with, allegedly, as it stands, with Yeezy telling Kanye that, you know, the relationship needs to be deaded, and Kim having to get security for her own kids she has with Kanye. How strange is that? You know, having to get security from the father of your kids. So, you know, yeah, people are saying that Kim is terrified. You know, I think that Kim, you know, hides her pain pretty well. I think that she's been groomed to be a fantastic socialite celebrity. I think she's very good for the camera. So I don't see Kim being the kind of person to draw attention to something like that unless it is dangerous. And so because of his remarks, Kim is saying, you know, I can't trust you. I can't trust that you're going to be safe around my kids. And so to me, that just screams restraining order. So thank you all for watching. Go ahead and, you know, if you want to stay in the loop with this, you know, developing story, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come out. Definitely do not forget to subscribe, you all, and thumbs up and tap the bell. I'm going to leave those other videos, okay, linked in the description box. If you have not seen any of my Kim and Kanye readings from when they got divorced, when they were together, you definitely want to watch it because I've definitely went in depth about their relationship and especially about what Kim was feeling. And I've gotten the most emotional when I've done Kim Kardashian readings on my channel. Like that's actually shocking to say, but it's true. It's true. A lot of the readings I've done on Kim and Kanye's situation with the cards have been extremely emotional and really sad to see. So this is just not like, you know, for show. You know, Kanye really needs help, and I actually pray that he gets it. But at this point, I think that Kim needs to go ahead and do what's best for her and the kids. All right, that's my opinion, y'all. Thank you for watching. God